Hey there, Chris Rogers here with Whirlwind.com, and today I've got a quick look at Adobe's new Lightroom Mobile software for iPad. Okay, so one of the first things you're going to notice on the desktop once you've updated your Lightroom software is that the identity plate has changed. And what this is a sign-in for Creative Cloud. So that means you're going to need Creative Cloud if you're going to use Lightroom Mobile. You can't just use it if you've just purchased the retail version of Lightroom. So you can use any of the bundles, whether it's the full Creative Cloud or just the photographer's $9.99 a month bundle. All of that works. As long as you've got a Creative Cloud membership, this should be fine. So you're going to sync with your account, and let's not show my email there, but you're going to, once you sign in, you're going to get these new options down the side that allow you to check mark on your collections where you would like, which ones you would like to sync. Now, what Adobe is going to do then, what Lightroom is going to do is then create smart previews, which are those pared down raw files. So they're not raw, they're just pared down files that don't contain so much information, and it's going to sync those files over to your Lightroom mobile app, which you're after you've signed in again with your membership here. So I've chosen a couple small collections over there that I'm going to sync, that I synced with Lightroom Mobile, and I've also turned on this fancy presentation mode, which turns your pointer into a red dot. You can access all those options from this main screen just by clicking on the namepad, and then you can sync over Wi-Fi, presentation, and then you can tell Adobe to stop collecting your data. So here's a couple of the things that I have synced, and let's just show you right here. You can play slideshow, you can add a new collection here, or you can even view some more options here, like renaming, removing the collection, and enable for offline editing. So that's one of the big keys here, is that you can enable some of these collections for offline editing. Once you sync back up to Wi-Fi, it will be the changes will be made. So let's go into a collection, and you get this sort of gallery view that's very similar to the gallery view in Lightroom. And you can go into a photo. So let's take a look at this one. Now the gestures here are 2-finger tap to cycle through metadata and histogram. That's kind of essential. You can pinch to zoom. You can double tap to get a full-size view and back out. And then there is a cool little thing once you get, let's see some of these options. So you get your film strip down at the bottom. Here's the editing. These are some presets, and then there's a crop as well. We're not going to touch that. When you're in the editing mode, if you press and hold with 3 fingers, you can actually see a before and after of what you've done. And there's some very basic, it's actually I think all the same. If you go over to the develop menu, it's the same from the basics. So you get exposure, contrast, highlights, whites, blacks, some clarity, vibrant, saturation, those things. It's pretty basic, but it does work pretty well. So I've made some changes to this, and let's just, for the sake of demonstration, overexpose this photo. Okay, and it should sync automatically once we back out a little bit here, and we see our duck is very overexposed. But let's go back and take a look at the library here, and we're going to open up this image. Oh, and you can see up in the corner here, the iPad is definitely doing something. And now on here, syncing one photo, and here we go. So there is a slight delay between the pictures here and then showing up in Lightroom, but it's not significant, I would say. And now there's the change that's been made. You can see the exact, in the develop menu, you can see the exact changes that were made. And actually, the best feature here is if you open up your history, you can see the changes that were made in Lightroom Mobile. So we want to get rid of that. Let's say we want to get rid of that exposure once we get back onto the desktop. We'll just change that back. No problem. It says syncing one photo, and then the iPad will eventually pick it up and make that change. So that's a very brief overview of what Lightroom Mobile can do for you and for your workflow. I think Adobe sort of, when I got the briefing on this piece of software, they've really used it as sort of a presentation piece, and also for somebody who goes out, there's the change being made, who goes out and shoots a whole bunch of pictures and then wants to sort of pare down their selections. So once you open up, if you got 4 pictures that all look exactly the same, you can say, okay, I want this one. We'll flag that as a pick. Okay, I don't want that one. This one doesn't really look that great, so let's reject it. And I actually liked this one, but I don't like this one. So there's some basic tagging that can go on here. And Adobe's also said they're investigating other kinds of tagging because it's really just flagging right now, but star systems and some of the more advanced features that you get with the desktop version of Lightroom. But right now, I think that there's also slideshows. If you haven't seen those, maybe we can initiate a slideshow. We go back, and we go here. There's some basic filtering here and sorting. How do we play a slideshow? Here we go, slideshow. And there's also some sharing options. So there's the slideshow. You don't have to scroll. I think the setting is defaulted to 40 seconds, so you can change that as well. It's actually a very full-featured app for a 1.0. Thanks for taking a look at this quick look, and let us know what you think in the comment section.